And coming to you live from the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., we have another exciting matchup for my NBA2K26 project. The 2025-2026 NBA season playthrough is on the air as we look at the injury reports right now. But first, we have our matchup featuring the Washington Wizards hosting the Dallas Mavericks. We get a first look at Cooper Flagg as we have the starting lineups there. We got D'Angelo Russell, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively II. CJ for the Wizards, CJ McCollum, Trey Johnson, Chris Middleton, Justin Champagne, and Alexander Cassar. As we looked at some of the injury reports here, we have Dallas, of course, without Kyrie Irving, still out from an ACL injury stemming from last season, as the Mavericks will win the tip. See D'Angelo Russell with it. And the Wizards are without Cam Whitmore and Carlton Carrington. I see Klay Thompson, the former Golden State Warrior, back over to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis coming in a trade from last season from the Los Angeles Lakers, part of that Luka Doncic. You see Washington for three. That is off the iron, no good. Star will grab the rebound here. McCollum over to Shemhan. Back over to Middleton. Middleton finding Johnson. Under 5 to shoot here. You see there's a shot by Johnson. That is up no good. Anthony Davis will get the rebound. The Mavericks off to a really good start in this season playthrough. They are 7-2 on the season. You see Anthony Davis with a slam dunk, and that's good, and it's 2-0. Mavericks already over a minute into the first quarter here. As I said, you see Trey Johnson with it back over to McCollum. But what I saying here is you see McCollum coming through. He's going to get that layup attempt, and that's good, and we are all tied at 2. See CJ McCollum just a shade over 20 points per game on average so far this season. Mavericks off to a really good start. They are 7-2. They were off to a 7-0 start, but have now lost the last 2 games. Meanwhile, the Wizards not off to a hot start as expected. They are 2-7 on the season. You see Russell back over to Lively. Lively for 3. Draws the iron, no good. Chris Middleton grabbing the rebound. Well, as I mentioned, we have Davis going for the Luka Doncic trade last season. That was like a what the heck kind of trade there. I see Middleton over to... And there is a three-pointer right there. It's 5-2. Wizards on top for the first time by 3. Back over to Anthony Davis now. Over to Thompson. Klay Thompson, the jumper. That is no good. Champagne for 3 there. He had the three-pointer going through there. He gets a rebound on this one. McCollum, and he will get the bucket there. And that's 7 straight for the Wizards right here, as you see D'Angelo Russell crossing the timeline. Give it over to Derek Lively. Klay for 3. And shades of his time as the Splash Brothers when he and Curry were teammates in Golden State. Klay Thompson brings the Mavericks to within 2 early on. Yesterday in a season playthrough, we probably had the closest margin of game with a 5-point game. I'd go back and watch that game if I were you. That is definitely Game of the Year candidate. Let's hope we have another good game here. See that? That was missed. You see Thompson with it. Back over to Derek Lively here. As you see the last game, the Memphis Grizzlies upset the Mavericks 132-128. As Anthony Davis with the miss and Trey Johnson grabbing the rebound. McCollum coming through. 7-5 here as we're 4 minutes into the game here. Trey Johnson. We'll get more into, you see Sar with the rebound or the dunk. Last season he made NBA All-Rookie First Team. Could he be in the Rising Stars Challenge again? As this year we're going to have rookies versus sophomores. Thompson for 3, and he drains it. That's 2 threes already, and he had 23 points in that loss against Memphis the other day here. And you see Sar with the dunk, and that is in there. It's 11-8. The calendar for this game is November 8th. Here in the season playthrough, though, we are on the eve of Halloween. As you see, Anthony Davis, he's going to be in the subject I'm going to get ready to talk about in a second. As already mentioned, part of that Luka trade last year. As you see, the Mavericks shooting 4 of 8 and the Wizards 5 of 7 here. And you see Sarr with the slam dunk again. He has 4 points. And it's back up to a 3-point lead again here. D'Angelo Russell finding Eric Lively over to Thompson. Thompson for 3. That is in and out. People are talking about, and we're going to get ready to see the other part of the story coming in pretty soon, later on in this game, because Cooper Flagg is not starting, but he is the #1 overall pick. As you see, C.J. McCollum coming around, and the lead is 5 for the Wizards. I believe that is matching the largest lead of the game. 15 to 10. Thompson for 3. That is off. No good. Sarr will grab the rebound. C.J. McCollum getting it over to Chris Middleton here. Or back over to McCollum, I should say. It's Trey Johnson with it now. 9 to shoot. Johnson from inside. That is good. It's a 7-point lead. And the Wizards off to a very hot start here, as we are over halfway through the first quarter. If you are enjoying this, as you see, there's a 3-point attempt. That is off the rim. No good. Sarr grabbing the rebound. Chris Middleton coming through. And Chris Middleton's with the slam dunk, and it's a 9-point lead here as you see the AT&T Connected Cam off that slam dunk. If you are enjoying this content, do please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You see Russell coming through, and that's going to be out of bounds. Very careless turnover there. He could have easily gotten the points to stop the bleeding there. You see Anthony Davis not happy right now. Said Anthony Davis, I keep mentioning this, Davis for Luka Doncic. And a trade that happened like in the middle of the night, maybe right after midnight Eastern. I know the Lakers just played the Knicks on Saturday Night Basketball at the Garden. And maybe about an hour or so after the game ended is when that trade was announced. Middleton for 3. That is off the iron, and Lively will grab the rebound for the Mavericks. You see Anthony Davis, and that's out of bounds. And yes, another careless turnover by the Mavericks here early on here. Under 5 to play here in the first. 19 to 10 to Wizards. But a lot of people thought that this trade was a rig, because the Mavericks did end up playing in the play-in tournament. They didn't go to the playoffs. Ended up beating Sacramento in the 9 versus 10 game, as that is off the iron, as you see Anthony Davis grabbing the rebound. They won the 9-10 game, but then they lost to Memphis in the elimination game. So that made them eligible for the draft lottery, and they went to the play-in, and you see Davis there with the bucket, and it's good. That ends the bleeding there for right now as far as the scoring drought goes. But a lot of pundits have gone out and said that the NBA, that it was rigged. The draft lotteries, McCollum misses it, but Sarr will grab the offensive rebound and puts it up with a slam dunk. Second chance points for the Wizards, and they're back up by 9. Klay Thompson. He's already hit 2 threes in this game. He shoots up another one. That's his 3rd 3 of the game. And that might be Cooper Flagg coming out into the game. Coming up now, as a lot of people, you see McCollum for 3. He drains it. And the Wizards are back up by 9. D'Angelo Russell with it, as a timeout is called with 3:24 to play. Here in the first quarter, the Wizards up by 9, and I'm going to stick around for this timeout to give you guys my self-promotion on this platform here. I am Vinny from Vdub Productions. I do sports video games on this channel. Most of my content lately has been college football 26 simulations. I choose at least 3 to 5 games a week. This week I'm doing 4 games for simulation. Let's see, back on Tuesday we had the simulation between Navy and North Texas, the Group of 5 game of the week. followed by last night Texas and Vanderbilt. And then coming up a little bit later tonight, we will have Oklahoma and Tennessee from Knoxville. That will be out at 7 p.m. Eastern, a premiere. And depending on how I feel right now, this might be a premiere too, depending on how this game goes. If you see it as a premiere, then you know it's going to be a good one. If not, you probably have a direction of how this game is going to be going very early on here. But if you do enjoy my content, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as far as this 2025-2026 NBA season playthrough project that I'm doing for this game here on NBA2K26, I basically play one game for every 2 to 3 day calendar days. Play the game, and I go over the stats, and then I go through the post-game ticker of the games that were for the rest of this calendar day, for this day for November 8th, as well as November 9th. In the fourth quarter, I will announce tomorrow's game that's going to be aired, which the calendar day for this playthrough season. As you see, Hardy in the lineup in the court now as Cooper Flagg, the number 1 overall pick. He's rejected very quickly here, but Davis will retain possession for the Mavericks. Under 3 to shoot. He's got to get this off. And he does get it off. It's going to draw iron, no good. Star will grab the rebound as McCollum is in the lineup. The Wizards with the edge, 9 to 6. Back over to McCollum. CJ McCollum. Thought about the 3. Passes it up. Gives it over to Coulibaly. McCollum under 2. He has to get that off. He does. And Cooper Flagg will grab the rebound off the miss. But yeah, as I was mentioning, as you see Hardy with it, give it over to Thompson. Clay for 3. He drains the 3. That's his 4th in the first quarter already. Clay Thompson can show that he can still shoot the 3 here. Some people have said that he's probably washed up, but we'll see how it is. You see Chris Middleton for 3. That is off. You see Derek Lively with it. Hardy coming around. Get it over to Davis. Davis back over to Hardy. Hardy over to Flagg. Cooper Flagg for 3. That's off the rim. No good. I believe that's Coulibaly with the bucket there, or with the rebound there. Learning some of these names. As Coulibaly coming through. Back over to McCallum. McCallum. That is good. And the lead is up to 8 again. I say the Wizards have led by as many as 9. Davis. Give it over to Thompson. Thompson for 3. Off the rim. No good. Lively gets the offensive rebound and puts it up for the second chance points for the Mavericks. 26-20. Just over a minute to play before the end of the first quarter. McCollum coming through. McCollum back over to Sarr. Sarr gets a layup, and that's good. I believe that's 8 points for him, and that is the margin of lead for the Wizards to this point as well. Thompson with it. 45 to play here in the first. Get it over to Lively, and Derek Lively the second with the slam dunk. Klay Thompson will have the assist there. Coulibaly with it. Give it over to George. Back over to McCollum. McCollum for 3. That is off. Flagg will grab the rebound here. That's 2 rebounds, I believe, for Cooper Flagg already in this game. Over to Hardy. Back over to Lively. Sends it over to Davis. Davis gets a shot up. That is off the rim. No good. George will grab the rebound. Shot clock off now. Coulibaly with it. Give it over to Sarr. Sarr gets a shot up, and that is going to go out of bounds, and that, I believe, is off the Mavericks. And that was a block, actually, by Derek Lively, so no other Wizard touched it after that. So, as you see, substitutions being made with just only 4.2 seconds to play here. However, the Wizards still have a shot to get one more. And they do get I believe they do get the inbound to start the second quarter. Coulibaly will tip it in with 1.6 seconds. And that will do it. And at the end of the first quarter, the Wizards at 2-7, leading the 7-2 Mavericks 30-22. I'm going to take a break. We'll be back to start the second quarter here in Washington, D.C. Back here now at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. here. The Wizards up by 8 to start. As you see A.J. Johnson coming through. Pass it over to George. George for three. As Cooper Flagg will grab the rebound. But a lot of people are saying that this might have been, as you see Dante Exum into the game now. Christie with it. Coming through for the Mavericks. 9 to shoot. See Dante Exum again. 5 to shoot here as you see Exum, Christie, Gafford, Marshall, Flagg in the lineup to start off for the Mavericks. As you see Kispert with it. Back over to Bagley. Marvin Bagley the third. The former number 2 overall draft pick is Kobali coming around. And Kobali with the slam dunk. And it's a 10-point lead for the Wizards. First time any team has led in double digits to this point. Christie give it over to Gafford, and Gafford will get the 2. Looking at the Mavericks shooting 10 of 24 and the Wizards 15 of 25. Wizards have shot the ball pretty well. As you can see, George for 3, that is off. As you see, Marshall will get the rebound for the Mavericks going the other way here. A minute and a half into the second quarter. Over to Cooper Flagg, passing it over to Exum. Exum, that jump shot, that is no good. But a lot of people are talking about Flagg and how the NBA may have rigged it for the Mavericks after that Luka Doncic trade. And that story was already big. You see George for the 3-point there, and it's a 11-point lead now for the Wizards. As you can see, a lot of people have said that even during the summertime, but it's now gone even more. As you see Christie for 3, that is off. You see Gafford gets the offensive rebound for the Mavericks here. You see Exum has to get over to Cooper Flagg. Flagg, the jump shot, that is off. You see A.J. Johnson with it for the Wizards. A lot of people have brought that up during the summertime, and it's been brought up even more now after the whole NBA gambling scandal that's going on right now that led to the arrests of Terry Rozier for the Miami Heat. As you see a foul there, Gafford called. Timeout will be called too. And we'll talk more about this after we get back from the timeout. And we are back here at Capital One Arena as we have an and one opportunity coming up for the Maverick. Or is it and one? As we see substitutions coming in. As you see George with it. And yep, that was an and one opportunity. As you see Gafford, he misses a free throw here. Still a 13-point lead for the Wizards. They're largest of the game. Gafford with it. Back over to Washington. Handing it over to Anthony Davis. To Cooper Flagg. Russell for 3. That is off the arm, but Anthony Davis will get the offensive rebound and the slam dunk. Anthony Davis with 8 points now in the game, all 8 of them inside the paint. 11-point lead for the Wizards right now, but we're going back to the whole Cooper Flagg and the whole Luka for Anthony Davis and how they believe they see McCollum for 3 and how that was a rigged for the NBA, the draft lottery. You see Russell has it right over here for Washington. But that has come out to light. As you see Washington for 3, that is no good. Rebound, you see Kobali with it. Kobali passing it over to George. As we have 10 to shoot on the shot clock. Back over to Champagne. There's 3. McCollum for 3, and it's a 14-point lead. McCollum had 11 points in that first quarter, plus that 3 makes it 14 total Cooper Flagg for 3. And there's his first points of the game for the #1 overall draft pick out of Duke. But yeah, that whole thing with the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, and then the Mavericks getting the #1 overall pick has come out to light again because of the whole scandal that led to the arrest of Terry Rozier from the Miami Heat, as well as former Portland Trailblazer head coach. And there is a three-pointer by the Wizards again. It's a 14-point lead again. Is it over to Washington? But as I said, that led to the arrest of multiple personnel, as you see Anthony Davis for 3 and is back to an 11-point game. And also tomorrow, and I'm talking about real life tomorrow on Halloween Day, when tomorrow's game will be out. By the time tomorrow's game will be out, Adam Silver will probably have already been done with his briefing with Congress for this whole issue. See Flagg giving it over to Davis. And there's no doubt, I think this is a cover-up here. You see Anthony Davis coming around with the layup, and that's good. It's back to a 3-point or 9-point game again, as the Wizards will call a timeout. Anthony Davis at 10 points, and we're going to take a timeout too. And we are back here in Washington, D.C. now. The Wizards still up by 9. As we see Sarr will inbound into McCollum. Coulibaly with it, passing it back over to McCollum, back over to Johnson. Johnson for 3. He drains it. It's back to a 12-point game. The Wizards led by as many as 14. But tomorrow we'll have the, and I'm talking about tomorrow in real life, that's going to have the game. That's going to have the whole congressional briefing with Adam Silver. There's no way Adam Silver did not know what was going on, because they already cleared the sports books of wrongdoing. They said the sports books were did what they were supposed to do and alerted the league. As you see, C.J. McCollum puts the Wizards back up by 14. Is it over here as you see Davis? As you see Davis right there, under 10 to shoot here. Passing it over to Washington. P.J. Washington for 3. He drains it. 11-point game. As we are over halfway, almost to the 5 minutes left of the second quarter, I should say. McCollum coming with it. McCollum passing it over to Coulibaly. Back over to Johnson. Johnson, layup. That is somehow good saying it's a 13-point lead. Trey Johnson heating up. 10 points on 4, 6 shooting. Russell over to Washington. Back over to Cooper Flagg. To Davis. Davis for 3. That is no good. Coulibaly with it. Back over there. See Coulibaly for 3. That is no good. Lively will grab the rebound for the Mavericks here. As the Wizards up 50-37, you see Anthony Davis. Assisted. D'Angelo Russell with the assist there. But no, Silver will have to deal with the briefing. There is, again, as I said, no way he did not know. And you see Sarr with the dunk and a timeout called by the Mavericks. McCollum has the assist, and speaking of McCollum, he had 29 points in the loss to the Cavaliers the other day in this season playthrough, and we'll take another timeout. And welcome back here in Washington, D.C., where the Wizards are up by 13. The Wizards at 2-7, just dominating the 7-2 Mavericks here. As you can see, Washington will inbound it to D'Angelo Russell here. As we got 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Davis coming around. Davis with it, trying to get through. Passing it over to Washington. Back over to Russell. Russell coming through. Back passing over to Washington. Washington for 3. He drains it. And it's a 10-point game again. C.J. McCollum over to Chris Middleton to Champagne. Or is it Champagny? I don't know. That is off no good. Russell grabbing the rebound. Russell coming around. Passing it over to Washington. Washington for three. That is off the rim. No good, but Anthony Davis with a rebound for the offense. Washington had another chance for a three. He misses that. That's Johnson coming through. Over to Sarr. Sarr back. And that is no good. As you see, Davis will grab the rebound here. Thompson with it. Under 3 to play until halftime. Klay Thompson to Anthony Davis, and Davis is fouled. Is it Shapani? I think what I heard is Shapani from the in-crowd announcer here. As you see, Anthony Davis is going to go to the line for 2. And he'll sink the first one. It's back to single digits again. The Wizards led by as many as 14. The Mavericks, though, trying not to let this game get away. Hits them both. Shapani will inbound it to McCollum. Back over to Middleton, back to Johnson. Being guarded by Klay. There he goes. There's a jump shot. That is up and that is good. And the lead's back to double digits again. Trey Johnson, 12 points in 16 minutes on 62% shooting here. 10-point lead again for the Mavericks here. Klay Thompson giving it over to Derek Lively. Derek Lively finding D'Angelo Russell. Russell puts it up for 3. That is no good. Johnson grabbing the rebound for the Wiz. McCollum for 3. That is no good. Anthony Davis with the rebound. Klay Thompson coming with it. Klay Thompson hit 4 3-pointers in the game early in the first quarter. As we're under 2 to play until halftime. Passing it back over to Anthony Davis here. 5 to shoot. Davis, jumper. No good. Derek Lively, though. He could have just... But Klay Thompson, anyway, hits the 3, and it's back to a 7-point game. But that's the one thing... But that is NBA 2K AI logic there, too. Like, just pass up the easy shot and go for the 3-pointer. It worked out this time. You see McCollum coming around. He passes up a layup, and that's going to go out of bounds to the Mavericks. You see what I mean? You see what I mean here? That is NBA 2K logic here, and I'm not going to criticize the game. I'm not going to sit here and not criticize. You see the Mavericks with the timeout. And I'm going to take a timeout as well. 1:15 until halftime. 7-point lead for the Wizards. And we are back here in Washington, D.C. It is 54-47, about 1:15 before halftime here. The Wizards on top. Wizards at 7-2, or at 2-7, leading the 7-2 Dallas Mavericks. Get it over to Davis. Inbounding it back over to D'Angelo Russell. Anthony Davis in last night's, at least in the season playthrough, you see Klay Thompson for 3. It's a 4-point game again. When I say last night, I'm talking about the season playthrough in this universe. He had 22 points in that loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. Both teams are actually on a back-to-back in this universe. See McCollum, 16 points on 7 of 15 shooting. He's only 2 of 10 from 3. Klay Thompson over to Washington here. Under 30 seconds, or about 30 seconds to play, I should say. There's a 3-point. That is off, no good. Champagnie will grab the rebound. Or Champagnie. McCollum coming through. Back over to McCollum again. 10 to shoot on the shot clock. McCollum. 13 to shoot now. He's got to get that shot up. That is good. Shot clock turned off now. 56-50. Russell with it. Chance to get some points before halftime. You see Klay for 3. That is off. You see Derek Lively gets the offensive rebound and a slam dunk. It's only a 4-point game. And that is where it's going to be at halftime here. The Wizards that were up by as many as 14, but the Mavericks have scratched and clawed their way back into this game. It is the Wizards 52, Wizards 56 and the Mavericks 52 here at halftime. And I'll be right back after the halftime report. And we are back here at the Capital One Arena as they're getting ready to finish halftime here, getting ready to set the second half here. The Washington Wizards at 2-7 on the season as we see CJ McCollum highlights. Led by as many as 14, but have allowed the Mavericks to scratch and claw their way back into this game. It's a 4-point lead here as Champagny is going to... As you see McCollum, Johnson, Sarr, Middleton, and Champagny with the rebound are on the court for the Wizards here. McCollum coming through. As McCollum is going to go to the line as D'Angelo Russell called for his first foul.
First personal foul. First team foul. At the line for two, CJ McCollum.
11:44. Actually, 16 seconds into the second half, as you see McCollum will hit the first one. 57-52. McCollum. He will make the second one. It looked like it was going to miss for a second here. Mavericks inbounding it here. Just 20 seconds into the third quarter. 6-point lead for the Wizards. And there is an illegal screen called against Klay Thompson, and it's going to go the other way. Inbounding it for the Wizards here. McCollum has it. Back over to Champagny. McCollum back over to Sarr. Sarr finally get over to Trey Johnson. Johnson puts up the three, and it's good. He drains that one. Trey Johnson at 12 points in the first half with that three, makes it 15. That's a 9-point lead for the Wiz. Looking to try to upset the Mavericks and send the Mavericks to their third straight loss. Russell coming through with 5 to shoot. Got to hit it over to Thompson. Thompson from inside. He hits it. D'Angelo Russell with the assist there. It's a 7-point game. Said the Mavericks trying to stay into this game. Johnson will shoot from inside. He hits it deep from inside. As you see, the Wizards are shooting 59% from the field to Dallas's 44%. And it's a 9-point lead for the Mavericks. Over to Russell. Russell for three. That is in and out, and Johnson will get the rebound. Get it over to Middleton. Back over to Trey Johnson. McCollum for three. He drains it. And the Wizards are back up by double digits here. 10-2 run in the first 2 minutes of the third quarter. And he goes from a 4-point game to a 12-point game again. As Russell almost called for the backcourt violation there. That is no good, but you see Anthony Davis gets the offensive rebound, and he puts it up. 66-56. Get it over to Middleton. Middleton with 10 to shoot. Johnson with it. And now the final 5 seconds here. Johnson coming through. One. Johnson. Hits the iron. No good. Rebound by Thompson. Trey Johnson with 17 points and 4 assists on 7-11 shooting. Get it over to Derek Lively to Washington. Klay Thompson for three. Derek Lively will get the offensive rebound off the miss. And Lively with the second chance points there. 66-58. Middleton back over to McCollum. McCollum for three. He drains it. That's 26 points for CJ McCollum. 8 in this quarter. There's an 11-point lead again. D'Angelo Russell dangerously once again almost getting a backcourt violation as there's a steal by the Wizards. Going through back over to McCollum. McCollum back to Sarr. We got 10 on the shot clock now. Passing it over to Champagnie. And he's fouled as Lively called for his first personal.
Second team foul. At the line for Washington, Justin
Champagnie is his name. Champagnie is his name. I have to keep remembering that. See, Justin Champagnie. As he misses the first one from the line. Mind you, in the fourth quarter, I will announce tomorrow's game, which will be Halloween night in real life, but will be November 10th on the calendar for the season playthrough. Champagnie will hit the second one. It's a 12-point lead. We're about to approach 4 minutes into the third quarter here. The Wizards up by 12. Derek Lively giving over to Davis. Russell with a jump shot. That is no good. Johnson with the rebound. Back over to McCollum. McCollum to Champagnie. Champagnie will get the layup, and that is good. And the Wizards have matched their largest lead, up by 14. Over 4 minutes into the game, or into the third quarter, I should say. See Klay Thompson for three. He drains it. Klay Thompson. It's an 11-point game again. McCollum back over to Middleton. Middleton for three. He drains it himself, and the lead back up to 14 for the Wizards. D'Angelo Russell has to get over to P.J. Washington. Back over to Davis. Davis for three. And Derek Lively will grab the offensive rebound. Chance for second chance points for the Mavericks. D'Angelo Russell for three. That is off. And Trey Johnson will grab the rebound for the Mavericks. Or for the Wizards, I should say. Over to McCollum. McCollum for three. He drains that one. It's a 17-point lead for the Wizards. Approaching 6.5 to play in the third quarter. Klay. And there, Klay misses it. And Trey Johnson will grab the rebound. You see Chris Middleton for the... Back over to Johnson. Johnson. 10 on the shot clock. McCollum. McCollum with a jumper. That is in and out. And Anthony Davis will grab the rebound here as we're halfway through the third quarter. 78-61, 17-point lead as you see Klay Thompson with another three.
3-point field goal.
As you can see, Sarr with the dunk there. It's a 16-point lead. But the Wizards' largest lead was 17 just a couple of minutes ago. As we're approaching 5.5 to play. Thompson, deep three. Middleton will grab the rebound there. Sorry, leave the deep threes for your former teammate Curry there, Clay. It's over to Champagny, and Champagny will go to the line. It's back to it's an 18-point lead now, the largest lead for the Wizards. Justin Champagny. And he will hit that one. Cooper Flagg back into the game for the Mavericks, with his team trailing by 19. He only has 3 points in this game so far. As you see, Flagg for three. That is off. Sarr will grab the rebound. Chris Middleton. As you see, the crowd is on its feet here as you see Coulibaly. Back over to Middleton, and that is an illegal screen against Sarr. Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson might be back into the game now. From what I'm hearing, you see Derek Lively. Back over to D'Angelo Russell to Thompson. Thompson for three. Klay Thompson brings this deficit back to 16. But you see Sarr with the slam dunk. It's an 18-point game again. Anthony Sarr, or Alexander Sarr, I should say. 16 points. All 16 are in the paint. Back over to Thompson. Thompson to Russell. Russell the Flag. Back over to Russell. Russell, his finds Klay again. Klay for three. That is off, but Derek Lively will grab the offensive rebound. Klay for three again. That is off. As you see, Lively again. Cooper Flagg for three. Derek Lively with another offensive rebound, and this time he wisely decides to dunk it. 16-point game. Don't know why it took that many chances for you to decide, oh, let's go for a dunk, instead of just shooting for those threes there. And as you see, Alex Sarr with the dunk, and it's back to an 18-point lead again. Cooper Flagg. Back over to Thompson. Russell for three. That is off, and Champagny will grab the rebound for the Wizards. Get it over. Sarr. Reed, though, he gets the dunk. That's a 20-point lead. Now it's the largest lead of the game for the Wizards. I believe that is now 20 points for Sarr as well. In order for Cooper Flagg. Back to D'Lo. Over to Klay Thompson. Thompson back to Cooper. Cooper Flagg coming around. He's inside now. Has to get the shot up. Passes it over to Klay, and Klay will miss it, but Derek Lively will have another offensive rebound and another slam dunk. Look at that. What a concept. Just go for the easy dunk there instead of just passing it up and trying to shoot for threes that you keep missing. Coulibaly for three. That is no good. Flagg will get the rebound for the Mavericks. Klay Thompson for three. That is off the rim, no good. 18-point lead for the Wizards. Sarr passing over to Champagny. Back over to Middleton. Middleton for three. He drains it. It's a 21-point lead now for the Wizards. Under 2 to play here in the third, and the first timeout called for the Mavericks in the first half, as we will take a timeout. 1:48 to play here. It's been a dominant effort by the Wizards. We'll be back. And we are back here at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. The Mavericks at 7-2 are trailing the 2-7 Wizards 92-71. This is the first time we get a look at Cooper Flagg in this And I believe he's still in the game right now for the Mavericks here. He only has 3 points in this game. Christie with it. Under 10 to shoot. See Christie coming around, and that is no good. McCollum will grab the rebound here. Now we're under a minute and a half to play in the third quarter. Chris Middleton. Back over to Marvin Bagley the third. Over to McCollum. McCollum for 3. That is off. And Christie will grab the rebound for the Mavs. Trailing by 21 here as we are approaching the final 70 seconds of the third quarter. Back over to Davis. Davis with 1:03 to play until the end of the third quarter. Christie coming up with it. Back over to Cooper Flagg. Flagg for 3. That is off. No good. Marvin Bagley the third with it as Colbally with it. Colbally coming through. Has to go back over to McCollum. CJ McCollum has had himself a hell of a game to this point. Middleton for 3. That is in a loose ball foul called against Marvin Bagley the third. And see Cooper Flagg. Corey Kispert coming into the game for the Wizards now. Christie with it. Over to Cooper Flagg. Flagg coming through. Flagg for 3. No good. George will grab the rebound. Kispert has it. Less than 20 to play here in the third quarter. Shot clock still on, so they do have to get a shot off for the Wizards. In there, McCollum passing it over to Coulibaly. That is no good, and that will do it. We are at the end of the third quarter. The Wizards put up a very dominating third quarter here. What was a 4-point lead going into the third is now a 21-point lead for the Wizards at the end of 3. We are back as we're looking at the State Farm Assist of the Day. As we look at it, we look there, and I believe that was Middleton to Champagne. You see the Mavericks had the ball to start the fourth quarter. Christie, Marshall, Gafford, Flagg, and Davis, the lineup out for the Mavericks to start the fourth quarter. Gafford, give it over to Flagg. Cooper Flagg for 3. He drains it. I believe that is 6 points for him now. Both of his shots were from the three-point range. 30 seconds into the fourth quarter. 18-point lead for the Wiz. And there, McCollum for 3. In and out. Gafford will grab the rebound. Flagg coming through. Flagg coming up, and that is no good. He gets his own offensive rebound, but passes up a chance to get the second chance points. 5 to shoot. Davis for 3. That is no good. They could have came out with points if Flagg didn't pass that shot opportunity up. But then again, this is the AI logic of NBA 2K, but you know, it's kind of realistic because in the NBA in real life, they do like to shoot for threes a lot. As you see McCollum inside, he thought he had it for a second, but it misses, and the Mavericks will grab the rebound again. Back over to Davis and Anthony Davis. 16-point game now. Coulibaly with it crossing the timeline. McCollum with it. Get it over to McCollum. He'll shoot the 3, and that's good. It's a 19-point lead for the Wizards. Christie with it for the Mavericks, trailing by 19 here with under 10 to play. Cooper Flagg coming around, and Flagg will get the layup, and that's good. Cooper Flagg has 5 points in this fourth quarter already. 31 of 78 shooting for the Mavericks. 39 of 65 for the Wiz. They see Marvin Bagley the third. They see Corey Kispert for 3. He drains it. And a lead back up by 20 for the Wizards. They led by as many as 21. And that was the end of third and start the fourth. Christie running it over to Marshall. Marshall back over to Cooper Flagg. Flagg with it, passing it over to Marshall to the shoot. And Marshall will get the points there, and the lead is back to only 18. So we're under 9 to play here in the fourth quarter. O'Malley finds it over to Marvin Bagley III. Back over to Corey Kispert. Kispert coming back over to Cole O'Malley. Cole O'Malley for 3. He misses, and Flagg will get the rebound. Cooper Flagg. That is a nice pass there. And timeout by the Wizards. And 8:34 to play, and I'm going to keep it here. As you see Christie with the points there. And the reason why I'm keeping it on the timeout is because when this game is done, we are not done yet, as we have statistics we're going to go through. And then the post-game ticker, followed by the injury report, and then followed by my final sign-off call to let you guys know the upcoming content. And also, this gives me a chance to remind you that tomorrow's game, we will be in South Beach. Oh boy. Where the Miami Heat will play host to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers have already been featured once. This will be their second time. However, I usually like to try to look for unique games between teams and for the first 2 schedule blocks that feature teams that have not been played. However, there are no unique games on the Halloween night schedule or for the schedule for November 10th, which is the November 10th for the actual day of the game on the season playthrough, but it is Halloween night and on the actual calendar. The game will be out at 2 p.m. Eastern. But when I say, oh boy, because we are in Miami, and of course Adam Silver is going to have his hearing or his briefing by Congress with the whole NBA gambling ring. And of course, Miami Heat had Terry Rozier, who as you see, lively there with the rebound here. Flagg, he's going to get that layup there. It's now a 14-point game. I believe Cooper Flagg now is in double digits. I see George with it coming through. Back over to Alex Sarr. And try to failed alley-oop attempt, and Anthony Davis will get the theft there. Cooper Flagg coming through. Flagg. There's the bucket there. It's an 8-point game. Or no, 12-point game. What am I talking about? And it's back to a 14-point game again. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about sometimes. I mean, this game goes by too fast. So yeah, Miami on Halloween Day, and by the time that comes out, it should be interesting to see if we had any. As you see, Anthony Davis is going to go to the line as Corey Kispert called for the foul. As we have starters coming back into the game. This is suddenly becoming very interesting as Cooper Flagg is now on the bench. One shot for Anthony Davis. And he misses it as Shamhaney will get the rebound. There you go for Trey Johnson. And Johnson with the layup, and it's back to a 14-point lead again. See the Wizards 42 of 70 shooting with the Mavericks 36 of 83. D'Lo with it over to Davis. Davis with the layup. 12-point game again. The Mavs are on a 12-4 run in the last over 4.5 minutes. This game still in doubt. See Johnson with it. 7 to shoot on the shot clock here. 6:40 to play here in the fourth. Under 1 to shoot. There's Johnson for 3. Washington will grab the rebound. Washington coming through. Back over to Thompson. Thompson with it. There's Davis. Anthony Davis for 3. That is off the iron. No good. Middleton will grab the rebound here. 6:10 to play. Middleton, that might be a 3, but it doesn't really matter because Thompson will grab the rebound off the miss. Washington. You see, Washington will get an awkward shot up. That is no good, but it does hit the iron. But Middleton grabbing the rebound. Middleton back over to McCollum. Under 6 to play here. Shamhaney with it. Middleton. There's a three-point shot. That is in, and it's a 15-point lead for the Wizards. Russell with it. Back over to Davis. Davis has it now. 5:23 to play. Davis got to get the shot up. And there he goes. Washington for 3. He drains it, and it's a 12-point game again. 5:10 to play. And that almost went in. And yes, Alexander Sarr will get it in after a crazy bounce. Almost lost it for a second. You see Clay for 3. That is no good. Under 5 minutes to play here. 14-point lead for the Washington Wizards. Johnson, give it over to McCollum. Back over to Johnson. Johnson finding it over to Middleton. Middleton passing it over to Shamhaney. Shamhaney for 3. That is off, and Klay Thompson grabbing the 3. A rebound, I should say. 4.5 to play. You see Anthony Davis. Slam dunk. 12-point game. D'Lo with the assist there. Get over to Middleton now. Chris Middleton. Get over to McCollum. McCollum for 3. And he has shot a lot of big threes in this game. As you see him, looks like he might be hurt. Davis with the slam dunk. And a timeout by the Wizards. And we will take a timeout as well. 3:53 to play here. And even though it's a 13-point game, this game is still in doubt. We'll be back. And we are back here at Capital One Arena in Washington, where the Wizards up by 13. They led by as many as 21, and that was late third quarter and beginning of the fourth quarter. Shamhaney will inbound it to Middleton. But I totally did forget, though, that in real life, these two teams did actually play in the first week of the season. You see Johnson. That is no good. Derek Lively will grab the rebound. Lively has had a few rebounds on the offensive end himself. Thompson over to Davis. Davis passes up a 3 very wisely. And he's back outside the three-point line again. 5 to shoot. Has to get something going. There's a deep 3 by Davis, and Lively just misses the offensive rebound, and that goes to Trey Johnson. But I know the Wizards did go into Dallas, actually, in real life. As you see a three-pointer again. Chris Middleton again. 16-point lead for the Wizards here. They keep hitting those 3. I think this game will not be in doubt, but you see Klay Thompson there with the 3, and the Mavericks will reach triple digits. Will reach the century mark. First time in this series, I will say this, that both teams have reached the century mark. Johnson for 3. That is off. Lively with it. Back over to Washington. Washington with it. Back over to Davis. Davis. That jump shot's no good. Sarr will grab the rebound. But no, the Wizards did go into Dallas in the early part of the actual season. You see Johnson coming around with the layup, and it's good. It's a 15-point lead. Trey Johnson, 21 points on 9 of 16 shooting, as we are under 2 minutes to play here at Capital One Arena. See Davis coming through. Davis will get to the line, and one opportunity as Sarr called for the foul. And if you want 3 points, that's how you need to do it. You gotta earn those 3 points there. But of course, Davis did miss this last time in an and one opportunity. But no, the Wizards in real life, I believe that was back on October 24th on the actual schedule. So it'll be 6 days ago in real life that those two teams played in Washington. And the Wizards actually ended up winning that game So this actually will be the second and final meeting actually in the, as you can see here, Washington for 3. That is no good, but you see Anthony Davis getting the second chance points on that offensive rebound. It's a 10-point game. Minute and a half to play here. Said the Mavericks are a little feisty in this game. They're not going to let the Wizards just run away with it. But could it be too little too late? As you see Middleton for 3. That is no good. A chance to cut this deficit to single digits. You're smart about it. You see Russell for 3. That is in and out. Like I said, you got to be smart about it. Yeah, you want to get some quick scores, but don't just go for the threes. They see Middleton coming through. Middleton, that is good. It's a 12-point lead. But in the season playthrough, when they met up in Dallas, the Mavericks won the game because, as I said, they started off 7-0. They lost 2 in a row. As you see, Thompson for 3. He drains it. It's a 9-point game, 32.8. Question is, do they start fouling? Kobali coming through. Under 20 to play here. Do they start fouling? Why are they not fouling? It's only a 3-possession game, and I guess they just waved the white flag. See Lively with it. And that's going to do it here. 2-1. Lively will not get it. I think they could have fouled there, but I digress. And that is a final from Capital One Arena here. The Wizards defeat the Mavericks 117-108. They moved to 3-7 in this season playthrough. And for the Mavericks, they were once 7-0. They are now 7-3. Don't go away yet, everyone. We are not done yet. It is now time for the statistics for the players here. We start off always with the home team, win or lose, but we could say the victorious Washington Wizards. CJ McCollum, 35 points. I believe he may have led all scores. I definitely know he led the Wizards. 35 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists in 39 minutes. Alexander Sarr, 24 points, 9 rebounds, just short of the double-double. Trey Johnson, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists in 36 minutes of play, and he was just shy of a triple-double himself. Chris Middleton, 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists. 1 assist shy of a double-double. Justin Champagnie, took me a while to actually get the name right, but definitely did get the name right. He had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Keyshawn George, 5 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Bilal Koulibaly, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Corey Kispert had 3 points, 1 rebound, and an assist. A.J. Johnson only had 2 rebounds and 1 assist in 3 minutes of play. Marvin Bagley, the former bust, number 2 overall pick for the Kings. He was a big bust there. 2 rebounds, 1 assist in 8 minutes of play. Then we have Anthony Gill, Tristan Vukcevic, Will Riley, Jameer Watkins, and Dylan Jones did not play for the Wizards. And now the statistics for the Dallas Mavericks players here. Klay Thompson led the team. So he and McCollum had both tied for the game high. Klay Thompson, 35 points, 3 rebounds, and assists. Went 12 of 26 from the field. 11 3-point shots he made. So he only made, I think, 1 field goal and then maybe a couple of free throws there. 35 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Anthony Davis, 34 points, 18 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Derek Lively, 12 points, 16 rebounds, and 3 assists, and 1 block. He had a double-double. Cooper Flagg off the bench struggled for most of the game, but he did find himself in double figures for the number 1 overall pick in this past draft. 12.6 rebounds, 2 assists. PJ Washington, 9 points, 1 rebound, and an assist. Daniel Gafford, who started off the season on the injured list, but he's back into action. He now has he had 2 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist in 11 minutes of play. Najee Marshall, 2 points, 1 rebound, and an assist. Max Christie, 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. D'Angelo Russell did not score a point, but he had 1 rebound and he had 13 assists for the Mavericks. And Brandon Williams in 1 minute of play, no points. Jaden Hardy only had 1 assist in 4 minutes. Dante Exum, no stats at all except he went 0-1 of shooting in 3 minutes of play. Then we have Dwight Powell, Miles Kelly, Caleb Martin. Those 3 did not play for the Mavericks in this game. And those are your statistics for this game. It is now time for the post-game ticker brought to you by 2K Sports. And we start off with the remaining games for November 8th, 2025. Game that we just watched. We saw the Wizards get their 3rd win of the year while sending the Mavericks to their 3rd straight loss. 117-108 winners for the Wizards. The Philadelphia 76ers, 109-100 winners over the Toronto Raptors. The Hawks, 113-110 winners over the Los Angeles Lakers in Hotlanta. The Cleveland Cavaliers, a team that we'll be seeing tomorrow, 141-109 winners over the Chicago Bulls. The Cavaliers are now 7-3 with the Bulls at 6-3. The Portland Trailblazers will send the Miami Heat to their 5th straight loss while getting their 3rd win of the year. 119-118 winners in South Beach. And for the Trailblazers, they are now 3-2 under their new interim head coach since Chauncey Billups was fired due to his involvement in an NBA or in a gambling ring that he was arrested for. And the Pelicans win back-to-back games after losing 4 in a row. They go back to being above 500. 114-105 winners over the San Antonio Spurs. The Pacers fall to the Nuggets 118-116, where the Nuggets are back to being above 500 early on the season. The Pacers are 3-6. And the Los Angeles Clippers win the 2nd game of a home-and-home series against the Phoenix Suns. 116-113. Remember, yesterday, that was the game that was definitely a game of the year candidate to this point. Very highly contested game. Now for the games being played on November 9th, 2025. 7 games in total on this day here as we see the Rockets getting their 3rd win of the season. 127-111 winners over the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Memphis Grizzlies now suddenly want to be hot. They pull off the upset. That's their 4th win in a row, by the way, for the Grizzlies. And they give OKC their 2nd loss of the season. The Grizzlies, 113-116 winners at home against the OKC Thunder. The Knicks get their 7th win of the season while handing the winless Nets their 10th straight loss to start off the season. The Knicks, 122-89 winners over their cross-borough rivals now. And it's been weird. I didn't know that the Nets have been in Brooklyn since 2012, but it's still tempting for me not to say the cross Hudson River rivals are now cross-borough rivals. 21-22-89. The Knicks go to 7-2. The Nets 0-10. The Orlando Magic win their seventh game out of their last 8. 132-114 winners over the Boston Celtics, where the Celtics are now 5-6 on the season. It's going to be a long year without Jason Tatum. The Pistons get there. I believe that's now back-to-back wins for the Pistons, or no, 3 straight for the Pistons now. They win 114-92 over the Philadelphia 76ers, both teams at 4-6. And the Golden State Warriors, 99-96 winners over the Indiana Pacers. The Warriors are 8-3 on the year. And the Minnesota Timberwolves will go to 9-1 on the season as they hold off a Kings comeback They saved that comeback off, 131 to 130 winners over the Kings in Sacramento. And that is your post-game ticker, as my buddy RJL Network would say on his Inside Pitch Baseball after his 10-minute ticker. If your team won, congratulations. If not, there's always tomorrow. And this is the injury report for after November 9th, 2025. For the Sixers, they're still without Jarrett McCain for 2 to 4 weeks. Nothing to report for the Bucks, Bulls, Cavaliers. We still know that Strauss is still out for 4 to 6 weeks, but Darius Garland, as I said, has been upgraded to hurt. Both have torn foot ligament injuries, right foot ligament injuries. But however, there's a little bit of a difference here, as Garland had his during training camp or preseason, so he's closer to returning to action than Strauss is. Jason Tatum, as I said, still out 4 to 6 months with a sore left wrist. For the Clippers, Chris Paul, broken left finger, out 4 to 6 weeks. Brook Lopez, still out 1 to 2 weeks with an injury with a pulled left hamstring. Zach Edey still out 2 to 4 weeks with a sore right ankle. And if he gets healthy and the Memphis Grizzlies continue to pull off a winning streak like they are right now, I think the Grizzlies might be okay coming up later on in the season. No, nothing to report for the Hawks. For the Heat, as I said, Terry Rozier, we're going to see them tomorrow. Rozier still out with an indefinite suspension. Tyler Hero, 2 to 4 weeks. He's still out with a sprained left foot. And Jaime Jaquez Jr., day-to-day with broken ribs. Hornets, nothing to report. Jazz, nothing to report. Kings, nothing to report. Knicks, the same thing. Lakers, the same thing. Magic, the same thing. Dallas Mavericks, as I said, Kyrie Irving still out another 4 to 6 weeks with a torn left ACL stemming from last season. The Nets are still without Michael Porter Jr., out 4 to 6 weeks with a pinch nerve in the back, and Terrence Mann with a high left ankle sprain. Both of them still out 4 to 6 weeks. Nuggets are now without Bruce Brown 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured eye socket, and now Christian Braun out 2 to 4 weeks with a strained groin. Again, we know about the Halliburton injury that happened last year in the NBA Finals. That was a very bad time. I know he's trying to help out, but I think he could have just played. He could have just sat out. I mean, yeah, he was trying to win a championship, but he could be helping this team right now to start off the season. Pelicans, nothing to report. Pistons, Jaden Ivey out 4 to 6 months with a cracked neck vertebrae. Cade Cunningham, now day-to-day with a sprained left toe. Nothing to report for the Raptors. Look at it here. I believe it is Dorian Finney-Smith is now fully healed. So now it's just Fred VanVleet with his torn right ACL out for the season for the Rockets. Spurs, nothing to report. Suns, nothing to report. OKC Thunder. Jalen Williams is now under recovery. He is now day-to-day. However, Caruso's still out another 1 to 2 weeks with his strained right hip. T-Wolves, nothing to report. The Blazers, as I said, Lillard still out for the season. Sharp still out for another 4 to 6 weeks. Drew Holiday, strained left MCL, is day-to-day. Now, look at it here. We got Steph Curry, twisted left knee. He is now day-to-day. Jonathan Kuminga with his bruised left knee, day-to-day for the Warriors. And as I mentioned, we had Cam Whitmore and Carlton Carrington out for the Wizards. But now CJ McCollum, and I kind of noticed that when he hit that three-pointer, he was hurt. He was holding his back shoulder, he's holding his hip, but now it's a strained right hip. He is out 2 to 4 weeks. I kind of noticed that, as I mentioned, when he hit the three-pointer in that fourth quarter. And that is your injury report for the games after November 9th, 2025. And that is going to do it for this video here. Before we go on, again, I just want to let you guys know, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you are new. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos for this project come out, as well as my College Football 26 simulation video. And speaking of College Football 26, we have another simulation video coming out at 7 p.m. Eastern. That will be a premiere, by the way. And that will be an SEC matchup featuring the Oklahoma Sooners and the Tennessee Volunteers coming up this Saturday. So I hope you don't miss that. And don't forget to also watch the Vanderbilt and Texas game after this is over with. Before you guys watch the Tennessee and Oklahoma game, that will be up later tonight as far as content goes. Again, reminding you tomorrow will be in Miami. The game for the season playthrough will be Monday, November 10th. However, this will be out on Friday, Halloween night. Halloween on the real calendar here, as we have the Cleveland Cavaliers at 7-3. They'll be featured for the second time in this first schedule block against the Miami Heat, who started off 5-0 and have now lost 5 in a row. Something's got to give. I mean, can the Cavaliers go to 2-0 in my season playthrough games being featured, or will the Heat end a 5-game losing streak? And as I said, I kind of find it irony. I mean, these games were already posted before. I already selected these games like well in advance before I even bought the game, because I kind of just wanted to see what I thought would be good games. As I said, these were randomly selected games, but little did I know that this would be an irony, because Terry Rozier, as I said, indefinitely suspended, with him being arrested as part of an investigation for a gambling ring, as I kept mentioning so many times, as well as Adam Silver, due to this, as well as other gambling aspects, not just with the NBA, but also with players and coaches being involved in illegal poker activities. Adam Silver is going to have to get a briefing by Congress with the whole, I know for sure, with the Rozier thing. And that is also on Halloween Day. So probably by the time that the game is released on Halloween, I'll probably have some information to tell you guys on the broadcast if you guys haven't already known. But that will do it for this video. One more time reminding you that the final score, the Washington Wizards defeat the Mavericks 117-108. I am Vinny from Vdub Productions, signing off.